Hello, my name is Irfan Hakim, metric number AF190168 from Group 7 Geology Section 4, and this is our group's video presentation project titled Tropical Weathering Classification. Our group consists of Amirul Najmi, Badrul Amin, Wan Muhammad Azim Daniel, Irfan Hakim, me, Syed Azri, and lastly Ahmad Izham.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Badrul Amin bin Faizi and I am from Group 7 of Geology Engineering. Our group project is about tropical weathering classification. First of all, weathering is a process that turns rock into soil. Deep weathering is prevalent in tropical and subtropical areas. Rainwater, extremes of temperature, and biological activity all contribute to the weathering of rocks at the Earth's surface. It does not necessitate the removal of rock. Weathering grading becomes quite critical. Weathering can cause change in the engineering properties of rocks at the material state. The behavior of weathered rocks is determined by the environmental circumstances to which they are subjected. When dry weathered rocks come into contact with water, for example, they may expand or begin to disintegrate. Similarly, different applications emphasize different weathered rock characteristics. The engineer will be more concerned with change in permeability as a consequence of weathering while constructing a building on weathered rocks. In terms of tropical weathering classification, it mainly applies to the tropical zone climate. Weathering also classified into two main categories, which is chemical weathering and physical weathering.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Syed Azri Zuhairi bin Syed Zaruddin. Literature review. This specific outcrop contains a dominant rock mass of midday to extensively worn sandstone and shelf. The mechanism of the weathering and the nature of degradation and disintegration of tropical weathered sandstone and shell were heterogeneous. It demonstrates that although being subjected to the same environment and the time period, the mode of tropical weathering and disintegration of sandstone and shelf differ significantly. However, more than one classification system is required to interpret rock formation. As a result, the summary system of classification by weathering grade indicate for Kenny Hill can be applied to various types of rock formation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirul Najmi bin Ahmad Nazari, and today I will present my part, which is the application part. So in this application part, we'll be discussing about the what test we're gonna conduct on the field. Our test that we're going to conduct is the standard penetration test, which is the in situ test that classify the degree of rock weathering. It is used to judge amount of decomposed rock and degree of atmospheric disintegration of different type of rock. So basically in Malaysia, due to its tropical rainforest climate, relatively has a hot and humid condition throughout the year. So basically if we compare the previous invention and the present invention, it is the present invention is method is simple. The principal science, the apparatus structure used is very simple. It's easy to operate, convenient to install and read, and can directly divide the rate of decay rock by segmentation of several with and middle of decay rock boundary and three subzones in strong weathered rock upper, middle, and lower. So as we can see down there, there is a picture of the weathering process that happened. Alright, let's go to the next slide. So as you can see here, this is the diagram of the standard penetration test apparatus, which is consists the rod the friction sleeve, the load cell, and the cone. As you can see here, this is just a simple yet useful test penetration used to penetrate the any rocks. As you can see at the bottom of the apparatus, which is cone shape, used to obviously penetrate the rock. So that's all from my part. Thank you very
My
much.
name is Muhammad Azim Danambi Almi, matric number AF1900F5. So I will present for design and discussion part. Our title is Weathering and Deterioration as Quantitative Factors in Slope Design in Humid Tropical Area. And this case study has been carried out at Northern Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysia. The deterioration, or also called as a disintegration of rock masses in cut slope, is a main cause for slope failure. In tropical area, weathering and chemical reaction occurs quickly and the decomposition occurs rapidly due to the rocks are leaked by the heavy rains. The objective of this research is to establish the relationship between weathering intensity rate and exposure time for the entire rock strength IRS of sandstone. The quantitative factor will be developed for design slope purpose in a humid tropical area. So the relationship is expressed in equation 1 to 3 as below. So the first equation is for IRS, second for cohesion, third for friction. The relationship of the reduction of IRS, cohesion and friction angle for thickly to very thickly bedded sandstone with exposure time has been established. The relationship allows us to predict the sandstone geotechnical parameters reduction within the serviceable lifetime of the slope made the testing unit in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. So I will proceed to our second case study, which title is Physical Field Characterization of Boulders in Tropical Weathering Profile. A case study which is carried out in Ulu Tiram, Johor, Malaysia. Boulder is known as one of the product from weathering process. Boulder from the disintegration and decomposition process of jointed rock masses forming into spherical form by the reaction of concentric superradial weathering process. Instead of that, the physical characteristic of boulder in weathering profile where it is formed is not well understood. Basically, the research aim is to study about the physical characterization of boulder in terms of size, shape, and the distance from the bedrock in the weathering profile. From the observation of the report, the shape of boulder is relatively changed from flat shape to spherical with the decrement of the boulder size. But this is valid for the boulder that possesses diameter larger than 1.5 meter. The diameter of the boulder will decrease when the boulder distance from bedrock increase. The shape of boulder also significantly change when its distance from bedrock is increased. The shape of the embedded boulder in weathering profile changes from flat to spherical when its distance from bedrock is increased. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Izam bin Yusuf and I will continue with the case study. Okay, title Characteristics of Boulders Formed in Tropical Weathered Granite, a review. Okay, first, boulder can be found embedded in sedimentary deposits, glacial tears deposits, and at the upper zone near the ground surface, which commonly encountered during tunneling. Second, the occurrence of boulder in weathered rock mass are dominantly embedded in the decomposed zone and the lower part, that is zone 3, but the presence of the boulder at the upper zone, that is zone 2, near the ground surface is occasionally found. The classification was take account the characteristics of joints, topographic condition, and the boulder appearance in the weathered rock mass. A typical weathering profile of granitic rock in Johor, Malaysia based on joint characterization. Okay, first, a full range of weathering states from fresh rock to residual soil exhibited in the profile was fully described. In the fresh rock zone, there is no visible sign of matrix weathering. The second, a maximum number of 3 joint sets were determined with dominant vertical joints. Okay, third, the discontinuities found in fresh rock were mainly joints, faults, and cracks. In slightly weathered zone, rock matrix weathering begins with discoloration of rocks along discontinuity surface. So that can see the changes of the color of the rock during the weathered zone. Moderately weathered zone, less than half of the rock matrix is decomposed or disintegrate to the soil. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you. Of the
Conclusion.
rock,
The event and qualities of stone in endured rock mass was assessed as far as definition. The arrangement of the rock in endured rock mass. Based on the survey that have been made, stone in endured rock mass can be summed up as new center stone with blocky or circular shape and have design size more than 0.3 meters. The quality of size, shape, material encompassing the stone and the appropriation of stone in endured rock mass presumably can be utilized as one of the boundaries in structural design plan. Thank you.
That's all from our group. I, Irfan Hakim, a representative from Group 7, would like to apologize if there is any mistake or shortcomings during the learning session with Doctor and also this video. Thank you for watching and Assalamualaikum.